The sharp bark of Max, a Belgian Malinois, shattered the silence at St. Jude's Cathedral during Captain Elias Thorne's funeral. His claws dug into marble, body vibrating as he faced the flag-draped casket. This wasn't grief, it was alert. "Muzzle that dog," Commissioner Vance hissed. 2 officers grabbed Max's harness. The dog exploded, lunging at the coffin with such force that floral wreaths toppled, white lilies scattering like debris. Mourners gasped. Detective Daniel Cross froze. A decade in K9 units taught him the difference between pain and detection. Max wasn't mourning. He was alerting to something alive. When Max tore at the flag with desperate snarls, Cross stepped forward, voice cutting through chaos. "Wait. Nobody touches that dog. Open the coffin. Now." Silence fell except for Max's frantic scratching. What witnesses would see inside would tear the department apart. Leave a like and tell us your city in the comments. Now, let's go back to where this began. Detective Daniel Cross, 38, had been on the force 14 years. Today felt different, like being a rookie again, lost and breathless. His crisp uniform masked a frayed spirit. 3 years ago, a botched internal investigation cost him his partner and reputation. The only reason Daniel still wore the badge was the man in that coffin. To the city, Captain Elias Thorne was a decorated hero. To Daniel, he was the mentor who pulled him from a broken home as a teenager. Thorne taught him not just police work, but manhood itself. Trust your gut, Danny. The paperwork can lie, witnesses can lie, but instinct? That's what shadows can't corrupt. Thorne had been healthy, strong. Then suddenly gone, cardiac event, in his home office. No autopsy performed, per family wishes, and Commissioner Vance's direct orders. As Daniel watched the cathedral chaos, he realized Thorne's final lesson was happening now. Everyone saw a crazed dog. Daniel saw truth. And if he was right, the men in the front row weren't mourners. They were jailers. September rain fell across Forest Hills Cemetery. Detective Sarah Chen watched the honor guard prepare to fold the flag over Officer James Rodriguez's coffin. 8 years she'd known him. Good cop, honest, believed the badge meant something. Max, Rodriguez's German shepherd, started barking before the chaplain finished prayers. The K9 lunged against handler Morrison's grip, barks echoing. Morrison yanked harder. Max's eyes locked on the coffin, body rigid. "Get that animal under control," Captain Hayes hissed. Morrison dragged Max toward parking, but barks grew frantic, desperate. Sarah's detective instincts flared. That wasn't grief. That was alert. Max broke free, sprinting through the crowd toward the grave. He planted himself at the coffin, barking with chilling intensity. "Someone get that dog out!" Hayes shouted. Sarah moved forward, hand instinctively touching her weapon. Rodriguez had died of a heart attack 3 days ago. 34 years old. No health conditions. Death ruled natural, autopsy fast-tracked, funeral arranged with unusual speed. Now his K9 acted like there was a bomb in that coffin. Or something worse. Sarah pushed through mourners. Max stood his ground, barks rhythmic, 3 short, 2 long. The pattern for positive alerts. Detective Chen, step back. Captain Hayes intercepted, face flushed. "This is a funeral, not an investigation." "That dog is alerting, Captain. Rodriguez trained him. He doesn't false alert. The dog is grieving. Dogs don't grieve like this." Max scratched the bronze coffin, leaving marks. "He's telling us something's wrong." Rodriguez's widow Maria stepped forward, pale beneath her veil. "What's he trying to say?" Hayes touched Maria's shoulder. "Nothing, Mrs. Rodriguez. The animal is confused. We'll sedate him." "No." Maria pulled away, staring at Max. "Jamie said Max was smarter than half the department. If he's trying to tell us something." Her grief shifted to suspicion. The same suspicion gnawing at Sarah since Rodriguez's sudden death. She'd seen the body, too pale, strange lip discoloration. but the me signed off on natural causes within hours. Captain, I'm requesting we delay burial, pending secondary examination. Request denied. Max reared up, placing both paws on the coffin lid. Open the coffin, Sarah commanded. The cemetery fell silent except for rain and Max's urgent whining. 50 officers stood frozen. Nobody opens a coffin at a funeral. Detective Chen, you are relieved of duty. Officers, escort her. I want it opened. Maria stepped between Sarah and approaching officers. That's my husband. My decision. Open it. Hayes's jaw clenched. Maria, you don't want to remember him this way. Open it. Maria's hands shook but her gaze was steel. Max is trying to tell me something. And you're trying hard to stop us listening. Hayes calculated. 50 witnesses. Questions he didn't want raised. Fine. On your head, detective. 15 minutes to locate tools. Max never moved. Body pressed against the coffin. Sarah studied his behavior. Alert posture. Fixed attention. Detection, not grief. The funeral director arrived, hands trembling. Highly irregular. Just open it. The seal broke with a hiss. The lid lifted. Maria screamed. Not grief. Shock. Her husband's chest rose and fell with faint, desperate breathing. James Rodriguez was alive. Barely. Call 911. Sarah checked his pulse. Weak but there. Max jumped into the coffin, warming his partner. Sarah faced Hayes, whose face drained of color. You knew he was alive. St. Mary's Hospital, Emergency Bay 3. Sarah paced while doctors worked on Rodriguez. EMTs said another hour in that coffin would have killed him. Dr. Yuki Tanaka emerged, stripping gloves. Former medical examiner turned ER doctor, uniquely qualified for this. He's stable. Barely. We need to talk about what I found. Through the alcove window, Rodriguez hooked to monitors, Maria at bedside, Max curled underneath. Security tried removing him twice. He refused. Tetrodotoxin. Someone dosed him with tetrodotoxin. Sarah's blood ran cold. The zombie drug. From pufferfish. Exactly. Paralyzes the nervous system, slows heart rate and breathing to undetectable levels. Creates death-like state for hours. Dr. Tanaka showed blood work. Administered approximately 72 hours ago. Timeline clicked. Rodriguez collapsed at the station 3 days ago. On-duty medic pronounced him dead. Body rushed to ME's office. Quick autopsy ruled heart attack. How did the ME miss this? They didn't test for it. Standard tox screen wouldn't catch it. But here's what bothers me. The ME should have noticed other signs. Body temperature wrong. Lividity pattern off. A competent examiner would have flagged dozens of inconsistencies. Unless they weren't looking, Sarah said quietly. Or were told not to. Internal affairs moved fast. Sarah arrived at her desk next morning to find badge and gun in a sealed evidence bag. Suspension notice attached. Detective Chen. Lieutenant Barnes from IA stood with 2 officers. You'll come with us. I want my union rep. This isn't interrogation. We're securing your workspace and confiscating materials related to Rodriguez. They systematically removed everything. Sarah had expected this, photographed every document last night, uploaded to encrypted cloud, sent copies to her attorney and FBI contact. The Rodriguez case isn't mine. He died of natural causes, remember? Barnes's expression flickered. Unless you're admitting something's suspicious? Requiring internal investigation. The trap registered in Barnes's eyes. Just following orders. Whose orders? Hayes. The chief. Someone higher. Barnes glanced at the officers. Hurry up. Whatever Rodriguez uncovered went high enough that people were scrambling. Sarah's phone buzzed. Dr. Tanaka, Rodriguez awake. Trying to talk. They're moving him. Moving him where? Sarah headed for the door. Barnes grabbed her arm. You're suspended. You don't go near Rodriguez. Sarah pulled free. I'm a witness to attempted murder. Unless you're arresting me, I'm leaving. 4 blocks later, patrol cars caught up. Her phone rang. Unknown number. Don't go to the hospital, a male voice said. They're moving Rodriguez to federal facility. Witness protection. If you show up, you'll compromise security. Who is this? Special Agent Marcus Webb, FBI. You called us. Rodriguez has been working with us 3 months, building a case. We thought he was dead. The dog saved his life. And our investigation. Patrol officers approached her window. Sarah handed over the phone. The officer's expression changed, snapped to attention. Yes, sir. Understood. Both officers returned to their vehicle and drove away. That you're now a federal witness. Any interference constitutes obstruction. Webb's voice was grim. Rodriguez uncovered something big. Big enough someone tried killing a cop and corrupting the entire chain of command. You're in danger too. Tell me something I don't know. The me who signed Rodriguez's death certificate didn't show up this morning. His apartment's empty. Either he ran, or someone disappeared him. Federal building, fortress of concrete and security. Webb met Sarah in a windowless conference room with Agent Jennifer Torres. Rodriguez is secure. Undisclosed location, armed protection. His wife and Max are with him. Torres showed laptop screen. Rodriguez built a case against organized corruption for 3 months. Started with a routine overdose. College kid, clean record. Something bothered him. Crime scene photos. Financial records. Surveillance images. He found connections. A pattern of deaths looking accidental but weren't. Connected to a protection racket reaching into DA's office, courts, your police department. Max led them to Rodriguez's suburban house, modest ranch with fenced backyard, K9 training equipment in neat rows. Yellow police tape crossed the front door. Torres cut the tape. Federal investigation supersedes local authority. Inside showed signs of searching, drawers opened, cushions moved, items disturbed. Someone had been here. Max moved purposefully through the living room past family photos, wedding day, K9 graduation. He stopped at the sliding glass door, whining. The training area, Sarah remembered Rodriguez's words. The backyard was a miniature K9 obstacle course. Max ran to a large wooden platform, began digging. Dirt flying. Torres and Sarah joined him. 3 feet down, Sarah's fingers hit metal. They unearthed a waterproof military container. Locked with a combination mechanism. Sarah studied the lock. Not numbers, symbols. Paw prints, bones, whistles. Training commands. Max, heel. The dog moved into heel position. Sarah turned the dial. Click. Max, sit. Click. Max, down. Click. Max, speak. Max barked. Final tumbler fell. The container opened. 3 hard drives. 2 phones. Thick folder of documents. Financial records. Wiretap transcripts. Photos of DA Marcus Vance meeting crime figures. Bank transfers showing millions in illegal payments. Fixed trials. Disappeared witnesses. Murders staged as accidents. At the bottom, a list of names. Captain Raymond Hayes. Lieutenant David Barnes. Medical Examiner Dr. Patricia Liu. Judge Harold Webster. 5 other officers. My God. Half the department. Her phone rang. Captain Hayes. Torres shook her head, but Sarah answered on speaker. Detective Chen, bring that evidence to me immediately. This is department property. Turning it over to FBI is a violation. How did you know I have evidence? How did you know where I am? Silence. Then, Sarah, you're in over your head. Vance has resources you can't imagine. People everywhere. Try exposing this, you won't survive the week. Is that a threat? A warning from someone trying to protect you. Some fights can't be won. Some corruption too deep to root out. Rodriguez learned that. You helped them bury him alive. I tried to save him. I told Vance killing a cop would bring attention. The tetrodotoxin was a compromise. Look natural, by time to discredit Rodriguez as paranoid. If he'd stayed buried 6 hours, we could have quietly walked back the certificate, gotten him into protective custody. That's insane, Torres said flatly. That's survival. You don't say no to Marcus Vance. He owns judges, politicians, crime bosses. Half the city runs on his corruption. We can try, Sarah said quietly. Then you're as stupid as Rodriguez. I'm done saving you. You're on your own. At FBI field office, Webb met them with grim news. Judge Webster issued emergency injunction. All evidence to be seized by local authorities. Claims FBI overreach. Webster's on Vance's payroll, Sarah showed the documents. I know. But he's a federal judge. His order has teeth. Vance is using the system as a weapon. Webb stopped, listening to his earpiece. Face went pale. Turn on the news. Channel 7. District Attorney Marcus Vance stood at a podium, expression grave and sympathetic. Deeply troubled to report Detective Sarah Chen, under investigation for misconduct, has stolen classified evidence and is operating with rogue FBI agents. Captain Raymond Hayes was found dead in his home an hour ago. Apparent suicide. He left a note confessing to corruption and implicating Detective Chen as his accomplice. Sarah felt the floor drop. He killed Hayes. Made it suicide. Pinned everything on us. Max growled at Vance's image on screen. I have information about Marcus Vance. About money he's stolen from you. About how he's planning to use you as scapegoats when this comes down. Temperature dropped 10 degrees. You're wired. No. Check. Sarah spread her arms. A soldier patted her down. Found nothing. The dog too. Moretti asked with humor. The dog especially. He found the evidence. Sarah laid out financial records, walking through months of transactions. Showed how Vance skimmed 30% off top. Built a case against Moretti as insurance. Why bring this to us? Why not arrest us? Because arresting you doesn't stop corruption. Creates a vacancy someone else fills. Sarah met his eyes. But if you cut ties with Vance, his entire operation collapses. Without your money, that payroll disappears. You want us to destroy him. I want you to protect your interests. Vance is a liability. Desperate. Making mistakes. When he goes down, he'll take everyone with him. Including you. Moretti studied documents. I'll need time to verify. You have 6 hours. After that, we release everything to press, including proof of your arrangement. Sarah's voice was steel. Cut him loose and claim you were victims, or go down with him. One soldier moved toward his weapon. Max's growl stopped him. That dog saved a cop's life. I respect that. Loyalty is rare. Moretti looked at Sarah. 6 hours. We'll be in touch. 4 hours later, Judge Webster called. The injunction is lifted. Vance was just arrested by federal marshals. Racketeering, conspiracy, corruption. What changed, Your Honor? Long pause. Let's say certain parties withdrew support for Mr. Vance. Without that, his legal protections evaporated. I've reviewed the evidence. It's extensive. I've also referred myself for investigation. That's appropriate. Torres pulled up news feeds. Every channel showed the same. Marcus Vance in handcuffs, led from his office. 23 counts. Rodriguez's attempted murder at the top. The Moretus cut him loose completely. Webb almost laughed. Maria called. Sarah? Jamie's awake. Really awake. Asking for you and Max. St. Mary's Hospital, 2 days later. Rodriguez sat up, color restored, Maria beside him. Max lay across his lap, refusing to move. They're calling him a hero. The department wants to give him a medal. He deserves 50 medals, Sarah said. 23 arrests so far. 3 judges, 11 cops, 4 medical examiners, 5 city officials. Moretti family cooperating for reduced charges. Biggest corruption bust in state history. Rodriguez looked at Max. I trained him to detect threats. Never imagined the biggest threat would come from inside the department. He detected it anyway. Knew something was wrong when everyone else was ready to bury you. Literally. 3 months later, City Hall ceremony. The mayor presented Max with the Medal of Valor, first K9 to receive the department's highest honor. The dog sat perfectly still as the medal was placed around his neck, then barked once, loud and clear. Thunderous applause.